Blessings, TikTok. Blessings, YouTube. How is everybody doing tonight? I am going live on two different platforms. Let's see if I can get this glare out of the way. Maybe we'll do it this way. It's like no matter where I go, it's in there. All right, we'll try it like this. How's everybody doing tonight? Blessings, blessings. If you can tell me where you guys are watching from, that would be amazing. I am here in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. But I'm super excited to be with you guys on today. I'm on TikTok here and live on here on YouTube. If you can just put in the comments, YouTube, if you can put in if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay. TikTok, if you could tell me where you're jumping on from. Welcome, Truck Car Company. Welcome, Katie, to the live. Welcome, Diana. Welcome, everybody that's on YouTube. Welcome, Bubbles. Welcome, Butterfly. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Pat. How you doing, Gina? So today is day 2 of our challenge that we're doing inside of our community. Hey, Shante. Hey, TB. I don't need a username. How you doing, Nell? Thank you guys for jumping on. I'm super excited to be on here with you today. I try to go live every single day, and I basically am giving you value on digital marketing, entrepreneurship, and the e-learning industry, right? So my name is Stephanie. If you're new to my channel, Chicago girl, I thought I saw. I'm actually from Chicago, originally from Chicago. Sis, Karen, Jennifer, Mary, Brenda, how y'all doing today? Everybody on TikTok, how you guys doing? So if you're new to my channel, my name is Stephanie and I am a single mom of a 16-year-old, right? If you guys have any questions during the live, feel free to write them in the chat. YouTube, if you have any questions, I'll be going back and forth on both platforms, but I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have. So just stop me anytime in the live. But I'm a single mom of a 16-year-old boy. He's about to be 17 tomorrow, y'all. I am so pumped. And at the same time, like, man, I can't believe I have a 17-year-old. That is crazy. But I'm a single mom. I'm an entrepreneur. So I have had an apparel company for the last 3 years. And I have been doing about 12 to 15-hour days inside of my apparel company for the last 3 years. Super dedicated, sold out, put all of my blood, sweat, and tears into the company. How you doing, 559, Trey, Shar, BDC? How y'all doing tonight? So I put all of my time, all of my finances, all of my everything into this business, you guys, into my apparel company. I was doing physical products. So I would sell t-shirts, hoodies, hats, things of that nature. And it was a faith-based apparel company. So I like to come up with like inspirational messages, right? Things that would catch somebody's eye, but at the same time, build them up, right? So my issue has been for the last couple years, not the finances to say for the most part, because within our first year of business, we, by the grace of God, we were able to do $750,000 in sales our first year in business. So we literally crushed it to be a brand new company. But I will say this, I'm going to be transparent and raw, like I am on every live that I jump on. I try to make sure. Oh, you guys, I'm getting text messages from the family telling my son happy birthday, but his birthday is tomorrow. So they're a day early. But within our first year of business, we did do $750,000 in sales. It was a blessing, but it also was an eye opener because when you scale at such a fast rate, you need to make sure that you have certain SOPs in place, standard operating procedures. You need to make sure that your numbers are super tight, right? You need to make sure that everything at a level that is scaled is being paid attention to, because if not, you'll soon find out that you're losing money in certain areas. And as it all comes together, it's like a huge chunk if you're not paying attention to it. So I found my success in the beginning part of my entrepreneurship journey in my apparel company. I found my success in one, getting a coach, right? So when I first started, I only had the money to get probably a little bit of inventory to set the website up, pay the website fees, things of that nature. And it was in 2020 company that we actually started our apparel company. And so when I first started, I didn't have all the finances that I later accumulated, right? So what I would do is I would literally was in 2020 when that thing was going around that shut all of America down. I won't say the name, but while that was happening and everybody was at home, I got this amazing idea to start this apparel company. And when I started the apparel company, I had no, thought process that it would grow and scale at such a rapid rate. So I'm just doing the motions, right? I'm learning a little bit here, learning a little bit there, but I was actually cleaning houses during the day. So I would clean houses during the day because nobody was hiring. It was 2020. The whole world was shut down. Nobody was hiring. I was let go from my job. And so I was cleaning houses during the day. And then I would take the finances from my houses and I would dumping into marketing, you guys, into paid ads, into Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing, things of that nature, right? And as I continued to spend like $5 a day, $10 a day on paid ads, I started to get boosted up in the algorithms, right? So my schedule, right? If you would just think for a moment what my schedule was on a day-to-day basis is I would wake up, I'd get my son ready for homeschool because I was homeschooling at the time, still am. I'd get him prepared and set up for the day. I would go clean houses, probably for about 6 hours, anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. And then I would come home. I would cook dinner for him, get him set up for the night, and then I would jump on YouTube University and I would research everything on how to start an apparel company, right? How to make money online. I would research all these different things. And so until about 2 o'clock in the morning, I'd be working on my business, trying to learn all of the things that you need to know to have an apparel company in the beginning, right? And then I would take the finances from cleaning houses and I would dump it into paid advertising. And as I was dumping and dumping and dumping, $5 a day turned into $10 a day I would pay in ads. $10 a day turned into $20 a day that I would pay in ads, right? And then after about 2 months, you guys, I still wasn't seeing any sales or that many sales in my apparel company. And at this point, I was like, dang, is this even going to work? Because you think when you have this idea to start a business, whether it's an online business, whether it's a brick and mortar company, you have these high hopes and these aspirations that the business is just going to boom, right? That the business is just going to take off. Most of the time, if you don't have a marketing strategy in place, which I didn't, you think that a lot of people are going to know your business is there. But if we're honest with ourselves, if we were to walk down the street right now and there's a new business that opened up on the corner, if there's not a lot of traffic on that street, nobody's going to know that that business is there, right? Unless you're driving by and you so happen to see the business there. But how is that business going to be sustainable if they don't have the right amount of traffic coming into their store to make sales, right? So same thing as online, but I didn't look at it this way. I was just so excited to start a business. I was just so excited to have something to call my own. And I felt because I was a believer that God was just going to open the doors for my business for people to just know where I was at and it was just going to skyrocket, right? Well, that wasn't the case. When I launched my business in 2020, I had everything set up. I bought a little bit of inventory. I started putting money into ads and it was crickets. Nobody knew my business was there. And although I had the best product out there, in my opinion, and after years of being in the business, people say that, there wasn't barely any Christian apparel companies out there that had my style because I didn't copy anybody else's business. That's a problem with most of you guys out here that are online starting your businesses. Digital marketing is super popular right now. You're all trying to do the same thing. You're all sounding the same. You're using the same language, which is okay to an extent, but people got to know who you are. How are you showing up as your authentic self? Like, what experiences have you been through that got you to where you're at? What does your family life look like? What were the struggles that you went through when you started your business or in past jobs or careers that you faced, right? People need to know who you are. In order for them to know, like, and trust you, you got to give them a glimpse into your life. But if you're steadily on here talking about you can make this amount of money, you can make this amount of money, and you're using all the same terms as everybody else, what is different about you? You're coming off salesy, you're coming off scamish, you're coming off not believable, right? So you need to make sure, and this is just some advice because I know, because I've been there. This is just some advice for people that are starting new businesses, right? So when I was not making any sales in the first 2 months of my business 3 years ago, I was like, dang, what am I doing wrong? And I was doing all the research. I was putting a little bit of money into paid advertising. And I was seeing a little bit of sales here and there, but nothing like I expected. So I kept putting in the work. Consistency is the absolute key, you guys. I want you to hear me, because a lot of times we get so gung-ho about something, so excited about something, right? How many of us made goals in the beginning of the year? It's now July 10th, right? We're halfway through the year. Those goals that you set in the beginning of the year, are you still pursuing them? Are you still asking God to bless them? Are you still revisiting them every single day? Are you still working towards what those goals are? We get so excited about what those new goals are that we put in all the work in the beginning, but when we're not seeing the results, we jump on to the next thing. And a lot of times that's a test, because anything that is going to be great in life is not going to happen overnight, right? If you want to see a great success in life, it's not going to happen overnight. You need to go through trials. You need to go through tribulations. You need to go through the refining process. You need to go through the crushing process. You need to be lied on. You need to be mistreated. You need to walk with a limp, right? As I say back in the day. Excuse me. You need to have gone through something if that relationship is going to be sustainable, if that business is going to be sustainable, if that friendship is going to be sustainable, right? There's things that you need to go through in life in order to get to that place of maturity, right? When you think about a tree, and I want you to follow along with me because I'm talking about business today, but you can also relate this back to so many different things in life, right? When you think about a tree, and there's this one tree, I think it's a Japanese tree, you guys, that this Japanese tree takes so many years for it to actually even come up above the ground, to be able to sprout up just a little bit. And as all of these other trees are sprouting up and they're growing super high, and they're starting to bud, and the leaves are starting to show, and they're starting to look like they're bearing fruit, right? And you're wondering why this Japanese tree hasn't even sprouted yet. And it's been years, right? But after the third and fourth year of this Japanese tree, maybe it'll come back to me. But after the third or fourth year of this Japanese tree, this tree sprouts up within 9 weeks, 6 to 9 weeks, so high. And the roots have now spread out so far, and the roots have went so deep within those first 3 years that it now surpasses every other tree that sprouted up before it. It now surpasses every other tree that has already budded and went taller and higher than every other tree that has been out here living life, right? And the moral of that story is, when the storms and the winds and the waves begin to blow, when the circumstances and the trials and the tribulations come in your life, if your roots do not go deep, if your roots do not spread out wide, that storm and the winds and the waves will uproot that tree that was not grounded, that was not rooted, that didn't take the proper time and the proper maturity level to be able to sustain the situations, the circumstances, the storms of life. So if you want to be great and you want to surpass all of the other people in your industry, if you want to surpass all of the other people that are your competition, you got to be the one that is willing to show up every single day. You can't give up when those sales aren't coming in. You can't give up when it seems like everybody else around you is prospering, but they might not be sustainable. You want to have a business that is going to be longevity. You You want to have a business that is full of ethics, full of morality, full of character. You want to have a good name behind your business, behind your ministry, behind what it is that you represent and what it is that you promote, right? So why would you think that you just started your business within the first 1, 2, or 3 months that you're going to be a millionaire and an overnight success? Am I saying that can't happen? No, because all things are possible with God, right? To those that are called according to his purpose. I want you to hear that, because a lot of times we take scripture and we manipulate the scripture and we say, oh, all things work together for the good, right? But the second part of that scripture that I just said was to those that are called according to his purpose. What purpose are you standing for? Are you looking at everybody else's lane and you're trying to walk in their lane and you're sounding like them, acting like them, imitating exactly what their message is, imitating exactly the way that they're dressing, imitating exactly the way that that business owner has set up their online business? It's okay to take bits and pieces from other people's success stories, but it's not okay to then make the totality of who you are and act exactly like that person. That's not okay. Your blueprint, your fingerprints are different than everybody else's fingerprints. The blueprint that God has for your life is different than everybody else's blueprint. So why would you think in your business that you can throw a business up online, that you can throw a ministry together online and call yourself an overnight prophetess, call yourself an overnight businessman or woman? Right? We need to be very careful in how we're strategically moving in this season. Your eyes got to be focused on your vision. You got to be so clear in your clarity with your message, right? You want to be an amazing business owner? What education and skills have you acquired that's going to back what it is that you're speaking about? Because people understand a message that is hollow. They can see right through you. If you have no substance and you're trying to build a ministry and you're sounding like everybody else, but you've never spent intimate time with God, people can feel the weight behind what it is that you're speaking. Bring it back to business, right? If you want to build a brand or a business and you haven't put the acquired skills, the acquired education, the acquired knowledge, the acquired course that it is that you purchased to start the business in the first place, and you haven't went back and studied that course, and you think that your message is going to be pure, your message is going to reach the masses, come on, you guys, what are we even doing? You need to have a confidence. You need to have a knowing. You need to know who you are and whose you are in every season, and you need to show up as such. When I speak to the youth, you guys, and I'm telling them that this world is full of trials, tribulations, peer pressures, and temptations, you better believe that I am challenging them to be set apart from the rest. You weren't called to fit in, but you are called to be separated. The word says be separated from amongst them. Come out from amongst them, right? How are you doing that in business? How are you being separated from the people that are in your industry? You want to be a market leader in your industry? You want to be a market leader in that business, right? What are you doing to set yourself apart and sound different and come different? When you walk into a room, you better know that you carry an authority. You better know that life's challenges and experiences and the situations that you've been through have all been for a moment called now. That when you speak to your audience, the audience, your target audience, right? I know I'm talking on my podcast and I'm also talking on my business platform. So I'm trying to bring it together in the totality of a message, because no matter which way you look at it, The audience that you're speaking to is actually the person that you were a few years ago, right? So if you're a single mom like myself, my podcast is called Faith, Family, and Business because that's everything in life, right? My business is called Godpreneur University, and I made sure that I stood out different from the rest of those that were in my industry. So many people in the industry have a lot of the similar names, right? I wanted to stand out different because I wanted to have university in my business name because it's an education that you need to get to be successful. You can't just take a course and look through a couple chapters of the course and think you've arrived. You can't just think that you're going to start a ministry and have only studied a couple chapters of the word and think that you have some type of substance to be able to speak to that audience. People are going to see right through you, right? So to now bring it back to the main reason why I jumped on here tonight. You guys, we have started a challenge, and it's a 30K in 90 days challenge. Not only is it for income, but for myself, this 30K in 90 days is challenging me to show up as a better person for my kid, to show up as a better person in my intimate time that I spend with God, to show up as a better businesswoman, to show up as a better servant when I go to serve in ministry, right? This 30K challenge in 90 days isn't only about income. You see, when you get to a higher income bracket, you become a different person because in order to get to that 30K in 90 days, you got to show up and be consistent. You got to show up and challenge yourself every day that there's a schedule that you got to stick to, that there's an audience that's waiting on you to show up and give them value in an area that they've desperately been searching for, that the message that you're speaking to your audience, that what it is that you're bringing to them, that people were getting ready to give up, but because you showed up on live, but because you released that video, because you released that content, what I like to call digital real estate, because you showed up, that now they have a solution to that, which is what they were looking for. How are you showing up for your audience, right? TikTok, go ahead and start hitting those hearts so that I can be pushed up in the algorithm. I know I'm brand new on TikTok, y'all. I said I would never go live on TikTok. I said I never wanted to be a part of the platform on TikTok, y'all. So I was going to stick to YouTube, but then I got challenged, right? I got challenged, and although I was uncomfortable, I understand that where there's pain, there's also growth. Where there's procrastination, there's also failure and delay. So if I was going to procrastinate in the very thing that I knew that I needed to learn, then there was going to be setback and delay. How many times is that the case in any area of our life? Welcome everybody that's joining. Joy, Maris, Renee, welcome everybody that's joining. We're talking about how to get into the challenge of the 30K in 90 days, but not only the challenge of the 30K in 90 days, but how to show up as a better mom, as a better spouse, as a better friend, as a better parent. How do we show up in these 90 days to make sure that as we're going after our income goals, that we're also going after our character being refined, that we're also going after our mentality, our mindset to be shifted, right? We need to make sure that not only are we going after our income goals, but we're changing the perspective of our mindset, right? The word of God says that we have the mind of Christ and hold the thoughts of his heart, according to 1 Corinthians 2:16. That means that whatever you train your mind, whether it's in business, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in your spirituality, that whatever you train your mind to do and to be, you can achieve it. But you need to have a mindset shift. Inside of our community, they just released an amazing video. We're on day 2 of our challenge, 30K in 90 days. And although it's an income challenge, I take it as a lifestyle challenge, right? And I want each and every one of you to jump on board that is in the program that comes across this live. Or if you're not in the program and you want your income bracket to change, go to the link in my bio, put your email in. You'll watch a short video, the same thing on YouTube. Go to the link in my bio And after you watch a short YouTube or short little video, it's going to take you to all the details on my page that you can make an educated decision on if this would be a good fit for you and your family, right? I'm raw and I'm real. I'm authentically me. Nobody can take that away from me, because the way that I feel, you guys, I feel that if I show up every day and I give you value, if I show up every day and I give you a little bit of insight into the last 3 years of being an entrepreneur, my successes, my failures, my losses, my wins, that if you can learn a little bit from that and apply it to your life, that I've done my job to help you grow, that I've done my job to water the seeds that other people have placed on the inside of you, right? My job is to bring value. My job is to reach the unreachable. My job is to help you believe in yourself once again. My job is to tell you to keep going. A good man falls 7 times but gets back up again. My job is to tell you that if you've had a failed business in the past, welcome to the bunch. I have too, but I got back up again and I tried again. You see, failure is only a failure if you're not willing to get back up again and to try again. So if you're not seeing the income goals inside of your business, if you've jumped into digital marketing like myself, and I'm going to get into that in a little bit, if you've jumped into digital marketing, or you've jumped into the e-learning industry, or you've jumped into launching that new business and you haven't seen success yet, don't give up, because if you give up, then you're going to be in the same position that you were 90 days ago, right? But if you continue to push forward, where can your mind and imagination, your vision, where can you see yourself by the end of 2024? For me, I'm going to be making 6 figures. My goal, I got into this program about a month ago. I've already made thousands within my first month in the business, and I've only put in a few hours of work every single day because I still have been doing my apparel company that I'm slowly but surely walking away from, slowly but surely selling everything off so that I can go full force into this digital marketing space. Why wouldn't I? Because the data is showing that in the next few years, right now, currently, digital marketing is in the billions. It's $1 billion industry, right? And it's projected over the next few years that it's going to be into the trillions. Forbes has projected within the next 3 years, it's going to be $1 trillion industry, right? And so I want you to hear me, because if you're doing your proper research, which I always encourage you to do, don't ever just listen to what any TikToker is saying, any YouTuber is saying. I don't care if they've got the biggest platform. Always do your own research in business and in ministry. Let me say that again. No matter what you're doing in life, make sure that you're always doing your own research. Make sure you're always seeking Him for yourself. Make sure that you're always surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals. You want to go to the next income bracket? You want to go to the next level spiritually, relationally, financially, emotionally? Then surround yourself with the type of people that you want to go to one day. The circle that you have right now, if they're continually trying to pull you down and they're continually speaking negative over your life, over your dreams, over that which it is that you're currently pursuing in this season, if they're speaking negatively to you and they're speaking down about what you chose to do, then all they can do is pull you down because they're beneath you. They can't pull you up, because if somebody's above you, they pull you up. People that are beneath you pull you down to try to come to their level, right? So if you take inventory of the people that's in your life right now, if you don't have people that are encouraging you, edifying you, bringing unity, encouragement, lifting you up in your life and speaking words of wisdom, words of encouragement, trying to help you on what way to go, which decision to make, I would kick them to the curb, right? Because as you grow, not everybody's going to be able to come with you. And that's a bar for somebody right now. And I say that because I've had to do that in the past. My circle is very, very, very small and tight. And when I say my circle, I mean my inner circle. Literally, probably 3 people in my inner circle, 2 that have dear and near to my heart, 1 that's been with me for the last 12, 14 years of my life that I would ride or fly till the end of eternity, and 1 that has come into my life within the last 7 months, that I would do anything for. But you need to test the people that you're around. Know who they are in the spirit and know who they are in business. Know what they act like and how they act behind closed doors around their family, around their closest friends. Because if you're just seeing them in business or just seeing them on the job, or you're just seeing them at church, or you're just seeing them as an associate, and then you try to bring them in close and you haven't tested those waters yet, do you know what you're inviting into your business, into your mind, into your family? We need to be wise in how we're moving and how we're strategizing in this season. Okay. So for me, I got into digital marketing 30 days ago because I was trading my time for money. Although I love my Christian apparel business, I absolutely love it with everything in me. I put all my blood, sweat, and tears into my apparel company, but I was spending 15 hours a day working inside of my business, you guys. That's not a way to live when you're a single mom. That's not a way to live, when you're trying to do so many different things in life, but everything's being put on the back burner because you don't have the time to do it, right? You guys go ahead and hit those hearts, run me up so that people can see me in the algorithm on TikTok, YouTube. You're kind of quiet tonight. But you got to make sure that you're taking inventory over your life. So I did 30 days ago. I was exhausted. I was burnt out. I was tired for 3 years straight, working my butt off, you guys. 3 years straight, grinding, being a single mom, serving in ministry, cooking, cleaning, extracurricular activities. Who in the world has time for all of that? Still has time to make sure their business is successful and still has time to make sure that they have influence over their family and over their kids. So for me, I knew I needed a life shift, not just a business shift, not just a spiritual shift, not just a relational shift. I needed entirely a 360 shift. And what I mean by that is I needed to make a shift in my income, because working 15 hours a day, even though we did 750,000 in our first year in business and we were having 6-figure months, you guys, even though our business was exploding, there's no amount of time or no amount of money in the world that is worth you exchanging your time for money when you can't be the one that is there to pour into your babies. When they're going to daycare 12 to 15 hours a day as a mom, that breaks your heart. When your kids are being dropped off in the school systems and they're coming home and they're acting like a totally different person in their character because they're around in an atmosphere and in an environment that's not conducive to their growth. It breaks your heart as a single mom or as a parent alone. So I had to take inventory of my life, because I knew that if I continued to focus on my business and grow my business and stayed in my business 15 hours a day, that there was a chance that I would lose my kid to this world, that there was a chance that I would never get married, that there was a chance that I would never be able to serve in ministry, that there was a chance that I was going to be stuck inside my business all day, every day for the next however many years, right? So for me, thank you for the like. For me, I didn't care about the money. I cared about the money, don't get me wrong, because the Bible says that money answers all things. But what does that mean? That doesn't mean at the cost of losing everything, because it also says that the blessing of the Lord will make you rich and he adds no sorrow to it, which means there won't be toiling when the blessing comes. And you see, the reason I went with the program, thank you for running up the likes. The reason I jumped into the program in digital marketing and I made the pivot to online digital products was not only, one, is the program ethically aligned and morally aligned with my values, but the owner, the CEO, the creator of the program pours so much into us. I don't care what anybody says about the digital growth community. If people are talking bad about it, it's because they don't know what's on the inside, and because they're either hating, which I hopefully they're not, or they just don't know what's on the inside of the program, right? So, what's on the inside of the program is a booming community that are like minded individuals that are all going for the same goal, to better their life, to better their relationships, to better their income, to grow in their knowledge, to grow in their skill sets, to be able to offer the world something that will take the internet and the world by storm. Literally, it's the most interactive community that is out there. If you go to the school community, the school platform, SKOOL, school. If you go to that platform and you look up DGC, Digital Growth Community, you will see that we're not only rated number one in business, woo woo, but we're also rated number one across all the different niches. Why wouldn't people be talking about the program? Because when you're rated the number one program, you better believe that you're going to get hate, you're going to get haters, you're going to get people talking about it because they don't understand why everybody's being so successful. You know why? Because we have a mentor that cares about us, because we have a mentor that pours her soul into the program, and she doesn't get paid for that. She gets paid from her own success, from her own lives, from her own products that she's releasing, right? So you are the best CEO of your life. And in the spiritual world, you're the best prophet of your life. What does that mean? That you are the best decision maker of your family, and you're the best decision maker over your own life. Meaning, whatever you want to see changed in your income, make a change, be the change, come up with the vision, write it down so you can go full force forward with it, because there's not a one hat fits all, right? My solution to my income goals and to what's going to change the trajectory of my whole vision and my whole life and my family's life might be different than what yours is, right? And if you want more information, because I don't say this enough, everybody tells me nobody knows what it is, that is changing my life right now. So go to the link in my bio, godpreneuruniversity.com. Put your email in, and it automatically emails you the blueprint, the step-by-step guide that I'm following right now inside of my business to be able to be making thousands online every single month in digital marketing, right? So I jumped into the program 30 days ago. I've already seen thousands in my account, 100% profit. They focus on a 2-hour workday, which most of the time in the beginning, you're not going to be able to do 2 hours. I probably have been doing about 3 hours because I had never did digital marketing before. So it took me a little bit longer to create content. It took me a little bit longer to be confident in what it was that I was doing, right? So I put about 3 hours of high income earning activities into my business every single day. And then what I do outside of that to make sure that I'm generating the 10K per month, what I do outside of those 3 hours of high income earning activities to make sure that my business is running effectively, profitably, and proficiently, is I jump back into the training. Remember how I said that you can't speak on anything in life if you don't have the weight to back it up? That's spiritually, that is business wise, right? So in business, if you don't have the right knowledge, the right education, the right experiences to be able to back up what your message is saying, people are going to be able to see right through you, right? You guys feel free to ask any questions. I'm here to be valued to you, to help you. If you're struggling in digital marketing, ask any questions. If you're struggling, getting customers online, ask away. If you're struggling spiritually, and you need guidance and you don't know what your purpose is, or you don't know what you're doing in your life, ask away. I would be happy to interact with you guys. But I got into the program because, like I said, it aligned in every area. And then I jumped back into the training every day after my 3 hours that I put in, because I want to make sure that I show up as the best mentor. I show up as the best coach. I show up as the best market leader. My goal is to be a top market leader in my industry in business, and my goal is to be a top market leader in the online space for a faith-based podcast, right? So what are you doing to make sure that you're hitting the goals that you've put out there? I'm jumping back into my training every day in my business. And then in my ministry, I'm jumping back into the word. I'm researching, I'm getting into the presence of God, right? I'm making sure that I deposit in me spiritually what needs to be deposited so that I can speak to that person that is going through life's trials and tribulations. Because believe it or not, I have not always been a well put together woman. I was raised in the streets of Chicago. I was brought up in a one family household. A single dad took care of 4 kids. You don't see that a lot. I never grew up with a mom. I grew up in an area that I was always tested and tried. I had to fight my way out of every situation. I should have been in jail. I should have been locked up. But by the grace of God, he pulled me out of the pit and he turned me around and he put me on the right path in business. He put me on the right path spiritually. He's aligned me with the right people relationally, right? The totality of being fulfilled in life is not only finances. The totality of being fulfilled in life is in your relationships, because no matter how much money you got in your account, and I want a whole lot, no matter how much money you got in your account. Sorry, that was my sister, you guys. Calling me. Let me text her real quick so she doesn't call me back. No matter what it is that you're looking for in life, you need to make sure that you're backing it up with the weight to be able to back it up, meaning the education, the spirituality. She's probably calling me because, you guys, it's my son's birthday tomorrow. He is turning 17. I am an old person. Midlife, I like to call it, but I feel old. I got a 17-year-old, you guys, about to be 17 tomorrow. But anyway, so back to what I was saying. I don't even remember what I was saying, y'all. But so if you're going to be a market leader, right, in your industry, what are you doing to become? I think I just released a video right before I got on the live that said something about become, show up, and execute, something along those lines. It just be coming to me, you guys. But in order to become, you have to show up. You can't give up, but every day you got to wake up. You got to deposit the right things in you spiritually. You got to deposit the right things in you educationally and business wise. You got to be intentional about the relationships that are in your life. I fall and prey to that. I used to ask God for relationships, but then I would never have time for people because I was so busy working. And it got to a point one day I was literally on my floor, you guys, and I'm being so raw and real right now. I'm sweating and it's 70 degrees in my house. So it's freezing in here and I'm sweating, you guys. But sorry, I keep getting notifications on my phone. I'm being so raw and real, you guys, that I'm actually sweating and it is so hot, or it is so cold in my house right now. So I had been so deep and consumed in business that I was so overwhelmed and so overworked. I found myself on the floor of my bedroom, bawling my eyes out, asking God, there has to be a better way than this. There has to be a better strategy, a better solution, a better way. And I sat there in disbelief because I was overwhelmed by the amount of work that I had to do inside of my business. Although it was a blessing to have that much orders and that much work and that much finances coming in, what was not a blessing is that I didn't have time to enjoy life. What was not a blessing as I was losing my relationships, what was not a blessing is my son was working as well with me inside of the business, and he wasn't able to go do basketball. He wasn't able to go hang out with friends. He wasn't able to do the things that he wanted to do, right? And so it little by little started sucking everything out of us. And I cried out to him and I said, God, there's got to be a better way. And you know what I heard? It shook me to my core because so many times in life, we don't understand how we got to the place that we got to. If you look at your life right now and the finances aren't there, how did you get there? If you look over your life right now and you don't have any friends or real relationships that you could be raw, authentic, and real with and not put on a show, not put on some type of foolery or fakeness, right? That you got it all together, but you could be real and raw with. If you don't have those types of friends, why? What got you to that place? You see, we need to be accountable for us. If you have a failing marriage, a failing business, a failing ministry, if you're failing in the lives of your kids, why? We need to ask ourselves these hard questions. And so that night on my floor, that I was bawling with tears coming down my face, crying out to God, saying, God, there's got to be a better way. You told me to start this business, yet I feel empty. You told me to start this business, and although the success is there, why do I feel like I'm toiling? Why do I feel like I'm putting in so much, but yet everything's being put on the back burner? And the answer that he gave me shook me to my core. And he said, but you asked for this. I need you to hear me, and I need you to hear me very well, because I know I'm talking to somebody right now. There's things and there's prayers and there's questions that you've asked God for and believed God for. And by the grace of God, he has protected you and not allowed you to step into some of those things. But then there's times in life where he's allowed you the very thing that you're praying for, knowing it was a setup to bring you back to your knees in alignment with him. Because as he said, but you asked me for this. What I then realized is I had to look back over my life, the 3 years that I was going so hard for my business and so sold out for my business. I had to ask myself, if I asked for it, where did I go wrong? You see, I was sold out in business, but I wasn't sold out in my relationship with him anymore. I began to allow the podcast and I began to allow the specific things that he had given me instructions to do to get put on the back burner. I had allowed the relationships that he was using me to be an influence in my sphere of influence, to speak into the lives of those that desperately needed a word. I allowed those relationships to be put on the back burner. I allowed neglect into my family, into my home, when I should have been being there for my kid, you guys. That hits me to the core to where I can literally tear up right now, because the world will tell your kids who they are. The world will come with such peer pressure that will make your kids make a decision that they were never called to make, that they're not ready to make. And it will suck them in because you weren't there to be present in their lives. And so I had to bow up and I had to take my post back again. I had to get back into my place of prayer. I had to get back into my place of worship. I had to dive back in to my business and say, am I ready to walk away from it and start something new? Or can I rekindle it and try to make it work? For me, I wanted to let it go, because I knew that for the last 3 years, I have tried everything to make it work, but it kept sucking me back in my time. And I don't care what amount of money is flowing into my account if everything around me is up in chaos, right? The peace of God will rule and reign as umpire in your heart when you're in direct alignment with God. That's in ministry, that's in your business, that's in your relationships, that's in your marriage, that's in your career. Every decision that you need to make, there will be a peace that overflows when you're making the right decision. Am I saying that you won't be scared showing up? Absolutely not. Am I saying you won't be uncomfortable? Absolutely not. But what I am saying is if you're filled with anxiety when you show up at that business because it's too much and you're losing everything else around you, most likely you're not in the alignment in the perfect will of God, right? So I shifted 30 days ago, and it's been the most amazing shift that I have done for my family, for my kid, for my business, for my mental health, for my spiritual health. It's been the most amazing thing ever. I've literally shut everything down. I have pushed everything away, and I got to revisit me again. I got to revisit my vision again and get very clear on how I wanted 2024 to end. I got to revisit some very deep conversations with my kid and make sure that he's in alignment going forward, and was able to talk through some tough and challenging things that he brought to my attention that, let me tell you, kids deal with. And because they deal with it and they don't know how to deal with it, sometimes they'll hold these things in until you approach them and your heart is open to being involved in their life. And I'm not saying I wasn't involved. Oh, baby, I was very involved. But when you're not taking the time to be present, to spend time, to pour into them, to do all of these things that kids need, they will make wrong decisions. They will get misaligned. They will start hanging with the wrong people. They will start being off in the goals and in the visions that they had in the beginning of the year. Same thing with us as adults, you guys. We need to always be accountable for us. And so many times when we're stuck in any area of our life, it's because we are not accountable and we're not raw and real on how we got there. So 30 days ago, I keep trying to get back to it. 30 days ago, I made the decision to join a community called Digital Growth Community, the number one community, the number one program on the school platform. And the reason it's the number one is because the coaching is not only coming from a self-made millionaire, so she's so far above that she's pulling people up, but her mentality, her mindset, her willingness to pour out and be present in the lives of all of those people in the community when she's not getting paid anymore to do it. You won't find that anywhere. And the reason I say this is because I've been in business. I've researched many programs. I've researched many courses. I've researched many business opportunities over the last 3 years where I was going to pull the trigger on many of them. But I never had that peace I was talking about. Right. And so as I dove in to the community, my eyes were opened. It was like a light beamed, and I saw so many people that are high six income earners, high six figure income earners, seven figure income earners, not being so holier than thou that because they've arrived and because they've hit their goals, that they're not willing to educate and to help and to pour out. But these same ones that have arrived, that are still pushing to get higher, but that are way higher than everybody else, that they're actually taking the time to jump on the calls, to give their insight, to message people in the community, to jump on training calls, and when they're not getting paid for it, to pour back into us. We get live interactive training from 6 and 7 figure income earners every single week. Right? And then on top of that, there's 28,000 people inside of the community, you guys, that are rocking it, that are booming, that are winning, that everybody is literally always on a high. And if somebody's not, we're pouring into one another saying, hey, Where did you get off at? Let me look over this. What can you do to improve? You type something into the community that you're discouraged or that you feel like giving up or that you're not seeing the income that you hope to see, and you'll literally get so many responses, so many things and so many directions to point you back to the training and the education to acquire the skills to see where that gap is on why you're not making income. Right? So, in this program, to get into the program, it's such a small investment. When I started my business, and some of you might not think so, but hear me out. You can get in at 100, 300, 600, or 900, and you get the whole entire community and platform. The $900 level gets you the free coaching every week. The training calls and everything like that. But you get a business in a box delivered to you. The funnel's done for you. The email campaigns are done for you. You're not left confused. You're not left just sitting there. You have an interactive training, interactive community, coaching every single week to make sure that you're going where you need to be going. And we just launched a 30K in 90 days challenge, which means we're all on one accord in unity towards the same vision, the same goal. Although some people's goals might be higher, right? Maybe some people have already knocked that out of the park and maybe their goals is 100K in the next 90 days. Maybe some people's goal is 5K a month. Some people's goals are 10K a month, but the majority of everybody's goals are 30K in 90 days. And guess what we get every single day? We get training every single day. Not only do you have the whole entire platform, not only do you have the whole entire course that over delivers on so much info, you have a content vault, you have all of the high income earning activities in the blueprint that gives you a 7-day to profit blueprint. It gives you a 30 days, a 10K in 30 days to follow directly after that. But on top of the entire program, on top of the entire course, you literally get a training every day for the next 90 days on this 90-day run. And they're doing drawings, they're doing giveaways. They just gave away $100 gift cards. They're giving away Apple computers. Also, when you win, you get a direct one-on-one call privately with the owner of the company, the one that has created it all, that got to be a millionaire within, I think it was 16 or 17 months of joining the program, right? There's so many gems. Let me tell you this. Whatever you want in life, as long as you're willing to show up, be consistent, be trainable, be coachable, have an open heart, don't get offended, don't get sidetracked by everybody else's journey. This is in ministry, and this is in business, and this is in family. If you're not married yet, who cares? Keep your eye on your vision. And when that right spouse comes along, they'll be able to align with the vision that you have at hand. Right? If you are not where you want to be in ministry, who cares? Keep your eyes on the vision that God gave you. And if He hasn't given you one, you need to go seek Him. You need to go after what it is that He has called and created you to do and be, and not get sidetracked by everybody else that looks like they're an overnight success, but you'll never know what it was, the pains and the trials and the circumstances that they had to go through to get to be where they're at right now. When it comes to business, you guys, you need to make sure that your goals are written down: daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals. You need to revisit them every day. You need to get into a positive mindset every day before you start your day. You need to get around like-minded people in every area of your life. And you need to show up and not give up. That's my words of encouragement for you on today. If I have been a blessing, I want you to put a 1 in the comments. If I have been a blessing on YouTube, I want you to put a 1 in the comments. If you want to be a part of the program that I am a part of right now, there's 4 different levels that you can get in on. Like I said, go to the link in my bio. First of all, let me just say this, and this is going to be direct, but I want you to hear me. Whenever you want to be successful, you got to be coachable, right? If you're trying to get to where somebody else is and you haven't yet arrived there, and you're not willing to be coachable, meaning you're not willing to follow an instruction, you're not ready for success yet. And that's in every area of your life. So, my first instruction to you is if you want to get to the next income bracket in your life, my first instruction is go to the link in my bio, put your email in. It doesn't cost anything. You get a freebie. I give you a free blueprint. Put your email in, the blueprint gets sent to you automatically, and you get all of the information that you need to make an educated decision, right? You need to make an educated decision for you, for your household, and for your family, right? That's my number one instruction. Go to the link in my bio, get the information so that you can see it all in front of you, that you can go through line by line and make sure it aligns with what it is that you're trying to do. Right. So with the $100 program, when you get in that, you get one stream of income. Amazing. Imagine doing your 9 to 5 right now and showing up 2 to 3 hours a day, working this program, making extra income on the side, one stream of income to the point to where you're ready to let go of your 9 to 5. And now your income online from showing up every day, helping families, providing value now replaces the income that you already hate going to that 9 to 5. What a blessing by taking the chance and getting in on a $100 investment. Very minute um, investment. The second stream of income that you'll get is coming in at a $300 level. And when you go to the link in my bio, it literally breaks down every program, what it costs, and what you get. So with the $300 level that you come in at, you get 2 streams of income. With the $600 level you come in at, you get 3 streams of income. And the $900 level gives you the entire program, the entire course, the free training, the free mentoring, and it gives you 4 streams of income. That blows my mind that for the last 3 years of my life, I've been working 15 hours a day when all along digital marketing has been here. When all along there's a billion people on social media every day that are desperate for change, that are desperate to make a change in the trajectory of their life, spiritually, financially, emotionally, and relationally. But yet I'm hiding behind the scenes in my business. The devil is a liar. 2024, I will show up every day consistently. I will impact families. My goal is to impact 12 families every month. By me impacting 12 families every month, that's going to get me to 10K to where I could walk away from my apparel company 100% and solely focus on this and on my podcast. What are your income goals? Right? So that's the question that you need to ask yourself. Are you ready to walk away from that 9 to 5? If you answer yes, put your email in at the link in my bio. If you're ready to get 1, 2, 3, or 4 streams of income and you still want to stay at your corporate position, at your 9 to 5 position, I want you to go to the link in my bio and then get on your journey and on your way to accumulating those streams of income. Because believe it or not, no matter where you're at in life, whether you're struggling working 2, 3, 4 jobs and you don't have any time like I was 30 days ago, whether you're not making enough money in the 9 to 5 that you're at or the corporate position that you're at, and you need to be able to have supplement income, this is for you to get a second, third, or fourth stream of income. Whether you are in a high corporate position, I know because when I was in a high corporate position, the higher I got up in the ladder, the more time that I had to trade in order to get to the income bracket that I wanted, in order to get to the next promotion. And if I didn't want to get to the next promotion, it was only because I didn't want to trade more of my time to get a higher salary. But then you become complacent and stagnated. What happens when you become stagnated in life? You become polluted. You start taking a step back. You lose your passion. You start getting depressed. You feel like you're not moving forward. If you think of a body of water, right? And that body of water is flowing, and there's a fresh stream of water that's flowing through that body of water. There's going to be life that's inside of that water, fish and sea fish and all of these living creatures inside of that fresh body of water because it's fresh and there's flowing water, right? But once that body of water becomes stagnated and it becomes at a standstill, and there's no flowing water coming through it, that body of water starts to smell. that body of water begins to get polluted, and everything on the inside of that body of water begins to die. All of the life dies out because we were never called and created to be stagnated, to be complacent. We were never called and created to just exist. You are called and chosen for such a time as this. You are called to be an industry leader in your career. You are called to be an industry leader in your ministry. You are called to be the CEO of your kids' lives and to lead them and to direct them down to the right path. You are called and created to leave a legacy to your kids' kids. How are you showing up in 2024 to make sure that you're taking steps forward towards those goals? That's what I want you to ask yourself. And as you ask yourself that, go to the link in my bio, put your email in, get all of the information. I would absolutely love to help you. If you guys have any questions, feel free to send me a DM. Feel free to send me an email. Go ahead and like and share this broadcast. If you feel like it would be a blessing to somebody, share it with them. I believe in you guys, but you need to believe in yourself. I'm going to be here to show up for you every single day. And as I cheer you on, I need your confidence to get built and I need you to go after what it is that your goals are for this year. Okay. You guys have a great rest of your night. I'll talk to you guys either later tonight. My goal is to go live twice a day. I haven't been able to do it yet, but I'm getting there, you guys. I'm getting there. So maybe I'll go live like around 12 or 1. We'll see. I'm a late night person, but that type of crowd is way different than this type of crowd. But you guys have a blessed rest of your night, and I'll talk to you later, okay? Have a good night, YouTube. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. And put in the comments on YouTube, put in the comments whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the replay, okay? Talk to you later.